This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 11. And it reads, Because you were glad, because you rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because you are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and bellow as bulls. And at the top of the ledger on the right it reads, Babylon's sure fall, NLT. You rejoice and are glad, you who plundered my chosen people. You frisk about like a calf in a meadow, and neigh like a stallion. Verse 12, your mother, the mother of America, Babylon the Great, being Great Britain. All right, who, there was a saying that said that the sun will never set upon the British Empire, but it did set. And it gave rise to America, which was established on blood and rape and robbery and murder. All right. And removing of landmarks and peoples. So its end will be just as great. It's Jeremiah 50:12. And it reads, Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land and a desert. NLT, but your homeland will be overwhelmed with shame and disgrace. You will become the least of nations. As a whole, as a people, Esau Edom has become least, insignificant, ostracized. But how much more America isolated from the rest of the world, the rest of the nations, so that when they come up against her and shoot their arrows, they will not spare. It reads on, you will become the least of nations, a wilderness, a dry and desolate land by way of the missiles, nuclear fire. Verse 13, because of the wrath of the Lord, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues, the plagues that shall precede the missiles. The nations are going to be astonished at that. But how much more the noise and pestilence that shall end this place indefinitely. Because of the Lord YAHWAH's anger, Babylon will become a desert, deserted wasteland. So like it, all who pass by will be horrified and will gasp at the destruction they see there. And this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verse 10. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into me, and they lived, going into the Israelites, beginning with the hopeful elect, and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army. And that's the fear that has fallen upon our enemies, because they know their end is near. And the words that we speak will come to pass, because they are not our words, but the words of YAHWAH, BAHASHAM. And with that, giving all praises, glory, and honor unto YAHWAH, BAHASHAM. YAHWAH is the name of the Heavenly Father, in whom the world is ignorantly called Jehovah, or Yahweh. And YAHWASHI is the name of his only begotten Son, in whom the world has ignorantly called Jesus Christ, in whom we do worship. We are the Hebrew Israelites, which consist of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, and Seminole Indians, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings, giving double honors unto my apostles, my elders, and my teachers at Great Millstone that are ruling well and continue to do so, that taught me and brothers like me this truth, this beautiful truth, beginning with the names of our power and of his anointed. Now these are the two most important things you will ever and could ever know, coming into this truth: the name of the Heavenly Father and the name of his only begotten Son, the true and proper names in the ancient Paleo-Hebrew, our language, the Lashwan Kodash, which means holy tongue. Lashwan meaning tongue and Kodash meaning holy. Now these be the names that are written. The name of the Heavenly Father is YAHWAH. Yah meaning he, Hawa meaning exists or is or is to be. He is, he exists, he the existing one, for he is a rewarder of them that diligently seeks him. And in the name of his only begotten Son, that has a name that is above every name, given amongst men here on earth, to the Israelite man first, and also to the believers consisting of women, children, helps of the prophets, and those that have faith, even the name even that mighty name, the name YAHAWASHI. Yah meaning he, Hawashai meaning deliverer and savior. And that is exactly what he will come and do for the second time in physical form, yet as an angelic force, for we shall see him as he is, and we shall be like him. So those one, this is Edifying Lesson. This is part 3. All right, being molded for the times to come. All right, now this is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 12. Rejoice and be exceeding glad going into the elect, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. All right, but we're being molded for the time. We have not yet suffered unto blood, and some of us will be beheaded, all right, for the testimony of Mashiach. All right, to show our loyalty, our friendship, and our love for the Lord. Others of us will be persecuted and hunted, but the Lord is going to lift up a standard, send Michael to stand up for those that are written in the book, going into our wives and children and our families that cannot fend for themselves, will be guided by the angels, beginning with the top angel under Yahawashi, Michael, to stand up, the great prince that standeth for the children of our people, all right, and those that are written in the book. And for those men that have been so fervent in this ministry, they will gain power. Ooh, true power. And we'll be able to fend off our enemies, okay? Because the word itself is power, but how much more the power that will come with it after the days of fishing are over and the times of hunting begin. Now, this is the book of 2 Corinthians 7 and 4. Great is my boldness of speech toward you. Great is my glorying of you. I am filled with comfort. I am exceeding joyful in all our tribulations. You see that? We have to be fine with what we're going through, because the reward in the end is going to be far greater. How did Paul say it? He said, what we see now is temporal, but what is to come is eternal. But then he said, the present, how did he say it? Let me get it. It's not to be compared, not to be compared, not to be compared with the glory we shall receive, or that shall be known in us. Yep, Romans 8 and 18, for I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. You see that? And why are we going to make it through? Because wisdom is going to be with us, the spirit of Yahawashi. For wisdom is better than rubies. This is Proverbs 8 and 11. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. That's right. Now let's get the modern translation of Romans 8 and 18, and it reads, the future glory. It says, yet what we suffer now is nothing compared to the glory he will reveal to us later. You see that? That's what it is. Let's keep reading. Ephesians 1 and 19 up top. And what is the exceeding greatness of his power toward us, or to us word who believe? So like it. Let me read that again. And what is the exceeding greatness of his power to us word who believe, according to the working of his mighty power? I'm going to play this audio.
I will be blunt with you, Master Cephodias. The Republic will be vulnerable. The Jedi will be too few to turn the tide. A military needs to be created now, while there's still a chance.
There it is. So the Lord is building up his military, his army, his men. All right, while the heathen nations are imagining the vain thing, trying to cut us off as a people. Okay? So a military must be created. Now, you would think a military would be created for us, but really is being created against us. You have super soldiers being trained. You have newly created creatures. You have robotics and AI being created to combat the army that the Lord is building among his men. That begins with the word alone. Okay? Let's read on. 2 Peter 1 and 4, whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, that by these ye might be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust. Now let's get real quick. Being a soldier. We got to be a soldier for Mashiach. All right, here we go. This is 2 Timothy, the 2nd chapter. And we'll start at verse 1. It reads, be strong. And on the right hand, it says, a good soldier of Mashiach YAHAWASHI. Thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Mashiach YAHAWASHI. And the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also. NLT, you have heard me teach things that have been confirmed by many reliable witnesses. Now teach these truths to other trustworthy people who will be able to pass them on to others. Verse 3, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahawashi Mashiach. All right, endure suffering along with me as a good soldier of Yahawashi Mashiach, because we have to endure the suffering. It comes with the territory as a part of the battle. All right, reads on. Verse 4, no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. Soldiers don't get tied up in the affairs of civilian life, for then they cannot please the officer. For then they cannot please the officer who enlisted them. All right, that's it. We have to please Mashiach. Play the rest of the audio.
Cephodias folded his arms across his chest. I encourage you to share this with Supreme Chancellor Valorum, or even Senator Palpatine, Master. I intend to.
That's it. So this word is spread. Everybody has heard it, but it was not mixed with faith with many of our people and the rest of the populace. They can give a damn. All right, mixed with faith. So this word has spread. It has been gone abroad. We have made it public. We have published it. This word has reached the gates of the nobles. Okay? It says the believer's rest. On the right hand, it says promised rest for Yahweh's people. It says, let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us of entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it. And as you heard in the clip, he's like, you should voice this to Chancellor Valorum or even Senator Palpatine, right? And he says, I attend to. And that's what we have done with this word, beginning with our apostles and elders. And we've given you the word, whether you hear or forbear, as it tells you in Ezekiel. We blew the trumpet. If you take not warning, your blood shall be upon your own head. But if you take warning, you have delivered your soul. And it reads, in the NLT, it says Yahweh's promise of entering in his rest still stands. So we ought to tremble with fear that some of you might fail to experience it. Whew, man. Verse 2, for unto us was the gospel preached, as well as unto them, 2/3 of our people. But the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. Man. Verse 2, NLT, for this good news that Yahweh Bashimashai has prepared this rest has been announced to us, just as it was to them. But it did them no good because they didn't share the faith of those who listened to Yahweh. All right, let's play the rest of the audio.
But even under Chancellor Valorum's watch, this Senate will not overturn the Reformation Act. Too many senators have a financial stake in galactic war. They are heavily invested in corporations that will grow fat on profits from weapons and reconstruction.
Yep, see? Too many of these heathens, they're going to benefit off war. They're going to benefit off the downfall of the Israelites. Let's go to the book of Psalm chapter 2. Why did the heathen imagine a vain thing? And they know our downfall is when we're departed from our power. I'm going to get that, Lord's willing, in the book of Judith. It says the reign of Yahweh Bashimashai, or of Yahweh's anointed, so like it. It says, the reign of Yahweh's anointed, which is YAHAWASHI. It says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? NLT, why are the nations so angry? Why do they waste their time with futile plans? Verse 2, I read the NLT. The kings of the earth prepare for battle. The rulers plot together against the Lord and against his anointed one. It says, let us break their bands asunder and cast their cords from us, breaking our connection to our power by way of this new world order, by way of this digital system, by way of this MOTB, by way of Neuralink and all this other crap. That's to cut us off from our power, from our God-given rights, preferably to cut off the nation of Israel, and also to have the nations free themselves from the commands of God. All right, it says, verse 3, let us break their chains. They cry and free ourselves from slavery to Yahweh. See, they want to break away from the Lord. They want to do their own thing, do as thou wilt. You know, they want to bring forth the religion or the belief of do as thou wilt, satanic worship. But it will not be so, for the Lord will destroy them for their insolence. All right, but they get a kick off war, the prophet of war. Real quick, let's go to the book of Habakkuk. These high-banking elite, their own ways proceed even themselves. Real quick, let me get Isaiah 10 real quick. How he gathered up all the earth. Then I'm gonna go to. Then I'll go to Habakkuk 1. Let's see here. Let's get to the point. Bear with me, brothers. There we go. This is Isaiah 10 and 13. For he saith, by the strength of my hand, this is Esau Edom, I have done it, and by my wisdom, for I am prudent, which is mean of quick perception or careful. And I have removed the bounds of the people, and have robbed their treasures, and I have put down the inhabitants like a valiant man. NLT, by my own power, well, Salakia, verse 13, from the top. He boasts by my own power, for arm, I have done this. With mine own shrewd wisdom, I planned it. I have broken down the defense, says of the nation of nations, and carried off their treasures. I have knocked down their kings like a bull. Verse 14, and my hand have found as a nest the riches of the people, and as one gathereth eggs that are left, have I gathered all the earth. By way of the sword did this man live. And there was none that moved the wing or opened the mouth or peeped. NLT. I have robbed their nests of riches and gathered up kingdoms as a farmer gathereth eggs or gathers eggs. No one can even flap a wing against me or utter a peep of protest, which there's uproars of the people all over the world, as we read in 2nd Esdras 9, which proves that this is the end of this man's kingdom. These are the signs. Yahushua said these will be the signs, wars, rumors of wars, nation rising up against nation, kingdom against kingdom, earthquakes in diverse places, famines, pestilences. He mentioned these things. Okay? Shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth therewith? Or shall the saw magnify itself against him that shaketh it? As if the rod should shake itself against them that lift it up, or as if the staff should lift up itself as it were no wood. NLT. But can the axe boast greater power than the person who uses it? Is the saw greater than the person who saws? Can a rod strike unless a hand moves it? Can a wooden cane walk by itself? So all these things were orchestrated by YAHAWASHI, and it's all playing out beautifully before our eyes. Play the rest of the Audio.
War will be beneficial for an economy they now view as stagnant.
Salaki. But that was beautiful what the clip said. He said war will be beneficial for our economy they now view as stagnant. So war has to come. Third war is on the brink. Bear with me, brothers. All right, I'm back, Akim. All right, so the last thing we heard in that audio was that war was beneficial for an economy they view now as stagnant. Now let's go into what it tells you in the book of Ecclesiastes 12. Okay, that's why these lessons have been molded for the times to come. All right, from our apostles and elders, our leaders, our teachers, we are being molded in the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI for the times to come. And when did the Lord bring us in? Now, some brothers came in when they were older, but we all had to be what? Born again. All right? Now, this is Ecclesiastes 12 and 1. The point is in 3. It says, remember God in your youth. Remember YAHAWASHI in your youth. He calls the young men for their strength and the older men for their wisdom. Okay? And it reads, remember now that I created in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. NLT, don't let the excitement of youth cause you to forget your creator. Honor him in your youth before you grow old and say life is not pleasant anymore. And society is not pleasant to these people anymore. Even in these holiday months, which they call holidays, people are not as vibrant or ecstatic as they once were in times past. This economy they view as now stagnant is beating the hell out of these people. People have to work harder. The retirement age has been moved up. This society has worn out its people. And all societies. That's why we're encroaching closer and closer to war. All right? It's Ecclesiastes. That's why this demon Biden is putting so much money, was putting money into the war in Ukraine. Now he's putting money into the genocide of the pals over there by the small hats. They have all this money for war, but not to help the homeless, all right, or the people that are about to go on retirement, or to put into the infrastructure of this place, because the infrastructure of this society is a D minus. So they're not putting it into in-house keeping, but they're expanding the wealth outward, or putting it into the military effort, the military might, the war effort. All right, and it reads, while the sun or the light or the moon, which it goes into wisdom and understanding. The sun represents wisdom. The moon represents understanding. Okay, but also the actual heavenly bodies. All right, it says while the sun or the moon, so like it, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. Verse 3, this is the point. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. Now, economy means house management. So those in the economy are trembling because they know, okay, we can't get this economy out of the mud. The only clear, evident way, the only road will be war. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, which means the jobs are going to cease, because they are few. And those that look out of their windows, which is looking to the future, it's a dark saying. It says, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. The future is bleak. The future is uncertain. It's dark. Okay? And that's it. Verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, less work, few work. And he shall rise up at the voice of a bird. And this time is like an alarm clock, because a bird will chirp in the morning to wake you up. Your alarm will go off in the morning to wake you up to go to work. It says, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. The music now is low vibration. It's putting spells on people. It's destroying people. Okay? This is a very horrible, horrible place. All right? But bear with me. Play the rest of this audio.
Are you willing to state this in front of an investigatory committee? Damask frowned with his eyes. You have to understand that many of these corporations are owned and operated by my clients. A dark look came over the Jedi's face. You have read my thoughts, Magister. I have also sensed that war is imminent.
Yeah, a lot of these corporations and investments, they're all invested in what the elite's about to bring forth in this society. All right, war. Let me get that. Now is the perfect time to bring out Habakkuk 1. How the elites move. Chaldeans used to punish Judah, but the Chaldeans are punishing these other nations as well in the same way, in the same effort. Okay, I'll start at verse 2. And it reads, I'll read both KJV and NLT. It says, O Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save? How long, O Lord, Yahawah, BAHASHAM must I call for help, but you do not listen. Violence is everywhere. I cry, but you do not come to save. That's how it would seem. That's how it feels. You have to listen to me. As my man, Magister Damas was speaking to Cephodias about the coming war, and he's like, you read my mind. I believe that war is coming as well. Only if you know and can sense it and see it. We marry it with the scriptures. Economists and other people, former military, all right, former heads of corporations, insiders, they're all bringing out the same thing that we've been bringing out, our apostles and elders, through the Spirit for years, because these things are being fulfilled. They must be fulfilled. It says, why dost thou show me iniquity and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that raise up strife and contention. Because you got to remember, you have these different events, you have these different organizations, from the BLM to feminism to the war effort to what side are you on? Are you with the small hats or the Palestinians? Support Ukraine. All this is our psychological operations, psyops. And then you have major events. The last one was 9/11, but there's another major event that's coming that's going to cripple economies that they now view as stagnant, and it will lead them to war, because behind the scenes, the bankers want war. That's when they buy, is when blood is in the streets. All right? But it goes to show you everything is culminating. Everything is coming close. All right? There's going to be a black swan event. All right? And we can look that up. Bear with me. Go to AHTHAM. Bear with me. Hopefully it loads up. And if it doesn't, it's cool. Okay. Black Swan says something extremely rare or non-existent, but there's an event, Black Swan event. Bear with me, brothers. Bear with me. All right, Akim, I'm back, and you believers out there, and this is the Black Swan. So the Black Swan is an unpredictable event that is beyond what is normally expected of a situation, and has potentially severe consequences. And that's what's coming. Let's go back to Habakkuk 1. It says, we'll read it in the NLT. Must I forever see these evil deeds? Why must I watch all this misery? Wherever I look, I see destruction and violence. I am surrounded by people who love to argue and fight. It's Esau, Edom. They love to argue and fight. They're arguing and fighting in the Senate. There's arguing and fighting among the people. There's arguing and fighting among men and women. There's arguing and fighting among one generation to the next. It's all over the place, man. But yet, we're not taken by any of these things like most people. Because why? The scriptures is keeping us sound. Wisdom is guiding us. Wisdom is keeping us. All right? It is wisdom that's doing all these things. And as we're standing as an exceeding great army, our enemies are thinking twice. We're an evident token of their perdition, of their destruction. This is the book of First Maccabees 3 and 25. This was happening to the people because of us, just as it happened in the past. Then began the fear of Judas and his brethren. And that's beautiful because Judas goes back to Judah. So Judah and his brethren, Judah and the rest of the tribes are becoming exceeding great dread among the people. All right? Just as Judas and his brethren during the Maccabean revolt were a dread to the heathen and nations round about. It says, then began the fear of Judas and his brethren and an exceeding great dread to fall upon the nations round about them. Okay? I believe that was it. Play the rest of this audio.
I've confessed as much to Master Yoda and others, but to no avail. They give all appearances of being unconcerned or preoccupied.
See, most people are unconcerned and preoccupied when you tell them these things, whether they hear or forbear. Let me get that. They hear. But nobody's going to have an excuse for us soon. Okay. Ezekiel 2 and 5, and they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, yet shall know that there have been a prophet among them, because these things have been prophesied. You're going to know that a prophet was among you. Habakkuk 1 and 4, therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth, for the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Therefore, wrong judgment proceedeth. NLT, the law has been, or Salakia, the law has become paralyzed, and there is no justice in the courts. The wicked far outnumber the righteous, so that the justice has become perverted. And we see that now. But yet we have been molded for the times to come, to suffer the persecution, to know that things are not going to go our way. All right, but let me get cast down but not destroy. We had to go through these things. Okay. New Testament. Corinthians, if I'm not mistaken. 2 Corinthians 7 and 6. Nevertheless, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, that comforted those that are cast down, comforted us by the coming of Titus. And there's one of the brothers. Okay. Now this is 2 Corinthians 4 and 9. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. You see that? The Lord's going to have us. Even though we're going through these troubled times. It says, man. Okay. I believe that was it. But this is going to be the victory in the end. Revelation 12:10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come the salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren, which is Esau, Edom, self-proclaimed white man, which accused him before our power day and night. So like it. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down. That's the point. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. He's going to be cast down. All right? Bear with me. All right, I'm back, Akim. I'm back. And let's read Revelation 18 and 21. Because all this culmination of the incoming war and disgruntled systems, all right? We see it in the world with the BRICS nations coming up against the West. You have certain Western nations declaring war on that state, all right? The small hats, state of Israel. Then we have economic woes, trade routes being cut off, all right? PSYOPs, which are psychological operations being done on the people, all right? And prophecy is being fulfilled and the preaching of the gospel. But first, the preaching must go out. Is a burdensome stone against Babylon and the other nations, the kingdoms that are prophesied against. But how much more Babylon the Great, aka America? Okay? This is a burdensome stone of prophecy. And it reads in Revelation 18 and 21. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, bringing out the word, bringing out the truth, prophesying. We're being shadow banded, hated on, all right? But yet we're being molded for the times to come because we're immersing ourselves in the scriptures. We're immersing ourselves in the prophecy. We're immersing ourselves in what's to come. We're getting ourselves prepared and ready spiritually, first and foremost, walking with wisdom, because wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times. And it reads, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea. All right, the violence when the stone hits the water, the splash of it, the ripple effect. All right. It says, saying, thus with violence shall that great city, Babylon, America, be thrown down. First, it's going to be invaded with foreign troopers, hit with incurable plagues as ancient Egypt, and newer plagues, as is written in another place, show new signs, O Lord, in the Apocrypha. And then is ultimately going to be pelted with missiles from these nuclear powered nations and even its own allies. It says, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down and shall be found no more at all. It links up with Jeremiah, what the Lord said he's going to turn the land into a wilderness, a desolate wilderness, a land, all right, not inhabited. Okay, read in Habakkuk 1. It says 1 and 5. It says the Lord's reply. This is what the Lord is going to do to these wicked demons, these heathens. Before he even brings the judgment and the plagues, he's going to set up his men, and he's going to do a mighty work in these days by bringing back our people scattered among these nations, because not even our enemies know who is who. But the word is being preached. All right, whether it be, how did Paul say it? YAHAWASHI is preached, whether it be, okay, let's get that. Is preached. Some do it for contention, others in sincerity, but YAHAWASHI is preached. All right. Let's see here. There we go. Philippians 1 and 18. What then? Notwithstanding every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Mashiach is preached, and I therein do rejoice, and will rejoice. Okay. That was one good one. That might have been it, though. Romans 15:19. You see the signs going on in our time now. It says, through mighty signs and wonders, by the power of the Spirit of Yahawah, so that from Jerusalem and round about unto Illyricum, I have fully preached the gospel of Mashiach. Now, Paul, he was traveling around and he was preaching the gospel of Mashiach. But how much more now that we're in the farther western reach of the earth, the uttermost parts of the earth, preaching the gospel, the same thing that Paul did. I have fully preached the gospel of Mashiach. All right, but I believe that was in it with the pretense. We're going to start. Read 17. Here we go. Verse 14. And many of the brethren in the Lord, waxing confident by my bonds, are much more bold to speak the word without fear. So indeed, preach Mashak even, or some indeed, so like it preach Mashak, even of envy, these other groups, these other camps, and strife, and some also of goodwill, the true brethren. All right, the AHTHAM. All right, the body of Mashak, the true body of YAHAWASHI, the one body in YAHAWASHI. It says the one preach Mashak of contention, not sincerely supposing to add affliction to my bonds, because we always have to go back and clean up what these other groups are doing, moving stupidly and recklessly. But we're just keeping it 100. We're keeping a buck with you, and we keeping it straight scriptural. We're keeping it in the prophecies. It says, but the other of love, knowing that I am set for the defense of the gospel, and even outside forces, vocab Malone and these pagans, we're standing for the defense of the gospel, set for the defense of the gospel. All right, to cast down imaginations. For the weapons of all warfare are not carnal, but spiritual, through the pulling down of strongholds. Reading on, it says, what then, notwithstanding, every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Mashak is preached. And I therein do rejoice, yea, and will rejoice. It says, for I know that this shall turn to my salvation through your prayer and the supply of the Spirit of Yahawashi Mashiach, according to my earnest expectation and my hope that in nothing I shall be ashamed, but that with all boldness as always. So now also Mashiach shall be magnified in my body, whether it be by life or by death. See? Because we're coming into troubled times where some of the brothers are going to be beheaded, but it's going to be for a just cause, a glorious death then, only to be raised up first at the coming and the appearing of Yahawashi. And those that remain will be caught up with them and changed, as it is written. All right? It says, for to me, to live is Mashiach, and to die is gain. But if I live in the flesh, this is the fruit of my labor. Yet what I shall choose I wot not, for I am in betwixt two, having a desire to depart and to be with Mashiach, which is far better. Nevertheless, to abide in the flesh is more needful for you. And having this confidence, which means with faith, I know that I shall abide and continue with you all for your furtherance and joy of faith, that your rejoicing may be more abundant in Yahawashi Mashiach for me by my coming to you again. And us coming to you again is through these epistles, from the apostles and elders on down, from the lives to the breakdowns, to going into the history, bringing out news and prophecy, current events, things of that nature. It's all being done for you, are coming to you again. So let me play this audio.
Or preoccupied. I'm no longer sure. Master Dooku is well. Cephodiah sniffed. Unfortunately, Magister, Dooku's recent statements about Republic discord and our order's self-righteousness have only added to my concern.
There is discord and in a lot of these groups and these factions of religion, their pride won't let them see what's really coming to pass. All right, a lot of these groups and these religions, oh y'all speaking eschatology, blah, blah, blah. But what does that mean? It is all according to the scriptures. The tribes being risen up is all according to the scriptures. All right, uproars of the peoples. All right, wars, rumors of wars, reports of wars, evils being increased. This is all of the scriptures. It's all according to the gospel. It's all according to the word. It says, let me read this in Habakkuk 1:5. It says, behold, ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously, for I will work a work in your days, which ye will not believe, though it be told you. It says, the Lord, Yahweh Shemashah, replied, look around at the nations. Look and be amazed, for I am doing something in your own day, something you wouldn't believe, even if someone told you about it. And that's exactly what's going on now. But prophesying unto you, whether you hear or forbear, all right? that these things must come to pass, that the tribes are going to be risen up, all right, by the word, okay? The prophecies that were once sealed will be revealed, because through the blood of Mashiach, his sacrifice is being revealed unto his men in these last times, in these last days. The preaching of the gospel, the men rising up, the tents of Judah first, and then the rest of the tribes. Judah being formed with Ephraim, the two witnesses being gathered, representing the two kingdoms, the southern and the northern kingdom, and also representing the law and the prophets, which is Moses and Elijah. So there you go. We're bringing it all out to you, whether you hear or forbear. Okay. Now this is Philippians 1:27 up top. It says, only let your conversation, which is the way you live, be as it becometh the gospel of Mashiach, that whether I come and see you or else be absent. So brothers everywhere, whether you be in Babylon, outside of Babylon, we're all of one accord, one mind, striving together for the faith of the gospel. It says that whether I come and see you or else be absent, I may hear of your affairs, that ye stand fast in one spirit, with one mind, striving together for the faith of the gospel, and in nothing terrified by your adversaries, our enemies, which is to them an evident token of perdition. So us being out there is an evident token of their destruction, but to you of salvation, and that of YAHAWAH. See that? While we stand together and are united, more and more of a divide is seen in the world. All right, division. Let's get that. Because civil war will come to this land, these states. Luke 12:51. Suppose ye that I have come to give peace on earth? I tell you nay, but rather division.
You said that you have some vague recall of our conversation on Serrano. Do you remember my mentioning a group of gifted cloners? I'm sorry, I do not. They are native to an extragalactic world called Camino. I have on occasion done business with them on behalf of clients who desire cloned creatures or require cloned laborers capable of working in harsh environments. The Jedi shook his head in uncertainty. What does this have to do with anything? I believe that the Kaminoans could be induced to grow and train a cloned army. Sifo-Dyas took a long moment to reply. You said yourself that the Republic would never sanction an army.
There it is. See, most people don't want to go to war. See, they're having a hard time here in the States getting recruits for the military. So they're going to bring back a draft, but it's all going to be culminated by the bankers. Now let's read Habakkuk 1:6. Further on, it says, for lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, which the ancient Chaldeans were sorcerers and magi's that were really working behind the scenes, controlling all the ruling class of the Babylonians. And they put forth what the people would worship in fear and would know and would learn. That's what these bankers are doing now with these psychological operations and them pushing the world closer and closer to conflict and turmoil. It says, for lo, I raise up the Chaldeans. This is the Lord doing all this. That bitter and hasty nation, he saw Edom preferably, the heads of that nation, which shall march through the breadth of the land to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs. They're causing assassinations, sending in economic hitmen, jackals, things of that nature, certain destabilizing tactics to bring down the nation. All right, setting up puppet leaders. All right, pushing forth laws, and we seen it happen 2020 when they shut down the whole world. It didn't matter who the hell you were, they did it. Okay, this is NLT. I am raising up the Babylonians, a cruel and violent people. They will march across the world and conquer other lands. That's what happened with Esau, Edom, preferably America. But now that same sentiment is happening unto them by way of the high banking elite They used America as a cash cow, but now they're done with it. It did its work, and now it is over. All right. As we read in Isaiah 33, let's get that real quick, because that's the beginning of the division, and the war is coming. All right. And as we heard in the clip, gifted cloners. All right. Now they're starting to clone meat and fetuses and shit. Like, what the hell is going on? And a lot of these nations are with it, but they're drunken by the wine and the wrath of the fornication. But when they finally wake up, they're going to be mad and they're going to shoot fire on this place. All right? And the high-banging elite already know they're going into hiding. They're digging into the earth, digging into hell. But thence the Lord's hand, which is the elect, is going to bring them out from thence. All right? Let's go to Isaiah 33, 1. It reads, Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. You see that? That's exactly what's going on. These nations are going to deal treacherously with one another. Preferably Esau, Edom. The nations are going to go against him. Since they are terrible and dreadful, their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves, because Esau, Edom is proud. They are notorious for their cruelty and do whatever they like. All right, that's why they're involved in war. All right, they're highly invested in war through corporations and banks and things of that nature. Their horses also are swifter than the leopards and are more fierce than the evening wolves. And their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from far, and they shall fly as the eagle that hasteth to eat. Their horses, which is their power and military might, are swifter than cheetahs. They can finance any army. They can finance both sides. They finance both sides of the war, World War I, World War II, and now we're on the culmination of World War III. And they have financed these wars and been on both sides. Since their horses are swifter than cheetahs and fiercer than wolves at dusk, their charioteers charge from far away like eagles. They swoop down to devour their prey. That's exactly what they used to do. They march in there with armies, military might, but now they have direct energy weapons in space. They have air forces, a navy, and military might, robotics and AI technology to do their bidding. Let's play the rest of this audio.
The Republic needn't know. Neither would the Jedi Order have to know.
See, most of the populace doesn't really know that these men are working behind the scenes. The Republic needn't know. Neither will the Jedi have to know about these armies being manufactured and made, these clones, these super soldiers, these newly created creatures, all right? These weapons, these devastating weapons are being created. Most people don't really know that these things are happening behind closed doors, from Humvees, which were once military, but now the public uses them. The phones themselves, these electronics, these systems that we use to communicate were once military issued and now is given to the public. Why? To spy on you, to see what you're up to. The Republic needed not know. Neither should the Jedi have to know. Most people don't know. Only those in the know. Now this is Isaiah 33 and 2. O Lord, be gracious unto us. We have waited for thee. Be thou their arm, which is the Lord's arm is the heavenly host. Be their arm every morning. Our salvation also in the time of trouble. All right. It says, at the noise of the tumult of the people fled, at the lifting up of thyself, the nations were scattered. And your spoil shall be gathered like the gathering of the caterpillar. As the running to and fro of locusts shall he run upon them. The Lord YAHAWAH is exalted, for he dwelleth on high. He hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness, is the point. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Play the rest of this audio.
It would be an army that might never have to be used, and yet be available in reserve should need ever arise. Who in their right mind would fund an army that might never be used? I would.
Woo, that's it. See, they're funding an army that may never be used, but it will be used. Just like these missiles, these weapons, they were created to be used because the Lord had put it in the minds of these modern smiths, which are the scientists, to make these weapons. And also in the minds of these high-banking elites to bring forth war. All right, for the war of his making. All right, now this is Habakkuk 1:9. They shall come all for violence. Their faces shall sup up as the east wind, and they shall gather the captivity as the sand. On they come, all bent on violence. Their hordes advance like a desert wind, sweeping captives ahead of them like sand. See, they're getting people economically. They're tiring people out. They're wearing them out. And then once war is declared, there is no escape when they bring forth this system. It's Habakkuk 1:10. And they shall scoff at the kings. See, these are the high-banking elites that are behind closed doors. They scoff at kings. They're financing an army that may never be used. Who in their right mind will finance an army that will never be used? They would, because it will be used. They have the plans. They have it in their minds. It says they shall scoff at the kings, and the princes shall be a scorn unto them. They shall deride every stronghold, for they shall heap dust and take it. See, these high-banking elites have taken control of these nations, and there's no stopping them. The only thing that can stop them is the truth. The truth that have been so long without fruit shall be declared, and it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome. All right, that's it. Let me get that. Overcome. Yep. 2 Ezra 6:28, as for faith it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which hath been so long without fruit shall be declared. Okay? And we're going to win in the end. I believe that was it. We'll go to 2 Ezra 7:57. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle which man that is born upon earth shall fight. We are being molded for the times to come.
Along with some of my associates in the banking clan, and in conjunction with contacts in Rothana Heavy Engineering, which would supply the ships, armaments, and other materiel.
That's it. They're going to supply the ships, all right, in any material. Those in the banking clan. See that? The banking families are supplying these ships, all right, these weapons, and any material that should be used in these coming days. The material for the MOTB system, the digital system, the smart cities, they're financing these things. The war itself, they're financing these things. The psychological operations from the news to the radio to the music, they're financing these things, to the uproars of the people, BLM, to what side are you on? Are you for the state? Are you for free Palestine? They're financing these things, only bringing everything to a culmination. All right? This is Habakkuk 1:10 NLT. They scoff at kings and princes and scorn all their fortresses. They simply pile ramps of earth against their walls and capture them. All right? It says, then shall his mind change. Esau Edom, and he shall pass over and offend, imputing this his power unto his God, who Esau Edom's God is his technology. He's imputing all these things to his technology, all right, which is sorcery. All right, he's using it to dumb down the people, to control the people, to harm the people, to hurt the people, to bring forth weapons of mass destruction, weapons of war. But we, on the same hand, are using the internet and all these venues and platforms that he's using to push forth the truth, righteousness. It says they sweep past like the wind and are gone, but they are deeply guilty, for their own strength is their God. All right? because they believe that themselves to be gods. They want to live forever, eternal life. All right, control everything. Lock, stock, and barrel, control you. But it's all coming to a culmination. It's all coming to an end because YAHAWASHI will not let it be so. All right, he will stop this. Habakkuk 1:12. Art thou not from everlasting, O Lord, YAHAWASHI, my God, mine Holy One? We shall not die, O Lord, YAHAWASHI, thou hast ordained them for judgment. Esau, Edom, in the heathen. And O mighty power, thou hast established them for correction. It says, O Lord, my power, my Holy One, you who are eternal, surely you do not plan to wipe us out. O Lord, our rock, you have sent these Babylonians to correct us. Yeah, because Jacob's trouble is going to commence. Our people are going to be in trouble, but those that trust in the Lord will be preserved and saved and protected and rescued. It says to punish us for our many sins. It says that thou art of pure eyes and to behold evil, and canst not look on iniquity. Wherefore lookest thou upon them that deal treacherously, and holdest thy tongue when the wicked devour the man that is more righteous than he. But these things must happen. The Lord is not going to allow the righteous to fail, to fall. Leave him in his hand. In his hand. Let me get that. It's like in his hand. In his hand. It's in Psalm 37, if I'm not mistaken. We had on time, not bad. Okay. Almost done with the lesson and the audio. Just want to get a few more. Oh yeah, come on. Psalm 37. Here we go. Here we go. Almost there. Boom. Psalm 37-33. The Lord will not leave him in his hand, nor condemn him when he is judged. Okay? It reads, wait on the Lord, YAHAWASHI, and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, thou shalt see it. Okay? NLT, Habakkuk 1:13. But you are pure and cannot stand the sight of evil. Will you wink at their treachery? Should you be silent while the wicked swallow up people more righteous than they? Verse 14. And make his men as the fishes of the sea and the creeping things that have no ruler over them. Are we only fish to be caught and killed? It links up with Ecclesiastes where it says fish is caught in an evil net. Let me get that. But we're not going to be caught because wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of our times. Evil net. It says, are we fish to be caught and killed? Are we only sea creatures that have no leader? All right. Because the sea also represents nations, people's tongues, when you read it in Revelation. Ecclesiastes 9:12. For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare. So are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. See that? Habakkuk 1:15. They take up all them with the angle. They catch them in their net and gather them in their drag. Therefore they rejoice and are glad. Because people are going to be caught in these times. They're going to be subject, 15-minute cities. They're going to desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Others are going to be without society. They're going to break off. They're going to be off the grid. All right? But the elect are going to be the only ones getting through, surviving, being helped. Everybody else is going to have to fend for themselves and ultimately be killed. All right? Certain people are going to be drafted. Those that are without the city, the sword is going to slay. Those within the city, pestilence and famine shall devour them. All right? Certain men are going to be killed, and their husbands shall be killed in the wars, as is written. Virgins shall mourn, having no husbands. The wife shall mourn, having no husbands. The girls or the young women shall mourn, having no helpers. Their husbands shall die of famine and shall be killed in the wars. It says, must we be strung up on their hooks and caught in their nets while they rejoice and celebrate? Most people would be caught in their nets, and they will celebrate over them, because their plan is to heap unto them all people and gather all nations into a new world order.
Him with a look. Come to the point, Magister. The Kalanoans will not create an army for me, but they would do so for the Jedi Order. They have been fascinated by the Jedi for millennia.
That's it. See, we can put our people as these high banking elites have been set. They have been mesmerized by our people for millennia. All right, they read the scriptures, they know the scriptures, but what they want is their birthright back, and they're not gonna get it. But yet, through it all, we have been molded for the times to come. All right, we're ready. It says, therefore, they sacrifice unto their net, burn incense unto their drag, because by them their portion is fat and their meat plenteous. Many people they will get, but they will not get the elect. And 2/3 of our people will be slain in Jacob's trouble, but they will not have the elect. It says, then they will worship their nets and burn incense in front of them. These nets are the gods who have made us rich, they will claim, going into their technology, to have people in 15-minute cities, to have them surveillance, to have them chipped, to have them traced, tracked, and followed, to put in their minds what they want them to do, to have them as mere batteries to keep their society going, to cut down the people to a point that they can rule over a society or over a population of under 500 million, according to their Georgia Guidestones. These things will not come to pass, but this is what they think in their mind. Habakkuk 1:17. Shall they therefore empty their net and not spare continually to slay the nations? See, because they have a plan. Will you let them get away with this forever? Will they succeed forever in their heartless conquests? They will not. They will eventually be brought down.
Cephodias's dark brown eyes widened. You're not proposing cloning Jedi? No. I have been assured that such a thing is impossible in any case.
See, they can take on our identity as being Israelites or Jews, but they're not us. And they can't clone us. They can't make what we are. They can't make what YAHAWASHI has already made us to be. They can make AI, artificial intelligence, but they cannot create Israel. They can't be us. They can't make themselves be us. So they have lost. That's why they're going to come down with great wrath, knowing that they have but a short time. But let me keep on reading. This is Psalm 37:35. I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. Yet he passed away, and lo, he was not. Yea, I sought him, but he could not be found. Mark the perfect man, which is the elect, the righteous, and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace, a glorious future, salvation. But the transgressors, those that take heed to this man's system and fall victim to it, will be destroyed. But the transgressors shall be destroyed together. The end of the wicked shall be cut off.
But I have also been assured that a human army, 1,000,000 strong, could be ready for deployment in as few as 10 years.
You see that? So over the course of these years, the Lord has been building his army, the army of the Lord, to fight and to stand up against the wiles of the devil, the trickeries of the devil. Our weapons are not carnal, but spiritual, to the pulling down of strongholds. Let me get that real quick. How does it go? How does it go? Let's see here. Let me see if I can find it. Yep, there we go. The YAHAWASHI. Yeah. A million strong within just less than 10 years. This truth hasn't been on YouTube for that long. And look how much it has spread. And look at the army that the Lord is raising up through it. Call all YAHAWASHI. This is 2 Corinthians 10:3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds. We use Yahweh's mighty weapons, not worldly weapons, to knock down the strongholds of human reasoning and to destroy false arguments. Verse 5, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Mashiach. We destroy every proud obstacle that keeps people from knowing Yahweh. We capture their rebellious thoughts and teach them to obey Mashiach. Verse 6, and having in readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. A human army, okay, 1 million strong could be produced in less than under 10 years. And that's exactly what's been going on since YouTube, since the apostles jumped on YouTube. It's been, 17 years? But even in the midst of the 10 years from 07 to 17, man, it was a powerhouse. I believe that was the year of the push or the year of the triple D. I forget. But hey, the truth was going strong and is continuing to go strong. This is 2 Corinthians 10:6. And after you have become fully obedient, the elect, we will punish everyone who remains disobedient. Sit. Play the rest of this audio.
You're suggesting that I circumvent the High Council? I suppose I am. The Kaminoans need only a modest down payment, which I could provide to you through untraceable accounts I maintain in Outer Rim banks. Again, the Jedi remained silent for a long moment.
Yeah. So what's financing us? Because we already know what the elites are behind financing these psyops and war and the building of weapons and material, okay? And to bring the world closer to turmoil and war and societal collapse, to bring forth their new world order. But we're being financed in the heavens. Our treasures are in the heavens, where moth cannot corrupt, where the fires can't break out, nor thieves can break through nor steal. And through that, we can withdraw from that revenue in heaven to make us stronger for the times to come, for the times ahead. All right? Offshore accounts and banks. All right? And that's what's going on right now. It says, but the salvation of the righteous is of the Lord. Psalm 37:39. He is their strength in the time of trouble. And the Lord shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them because they trust in him. Foot stand short. Let's get that. Apocrypha. Yep. Yep. We'll start at verse 24, and I'll read to 27, and we'll end it there. It says, brethren, and help are against time of trouble, but alms shall deliver more than them both. See, alms, doing what's good, to charity, agape, love among brothers, shall deliver them both. Okay? It shall deliver you better than brethren, and other means of help in time of trouble will be your alms. It says, gold and silver make the foot stand sure, but counsel is esteemed above them both. We're having constant counsel with one another, assembling ourselves as the manner of some is, but seeing that the more that the day approacheth, we counsel with YAHAWASHI and the men that he has set up. All right, that's why we're constantly on the lives, as we're constantly learning, constantly eating, constantly feeding. It says, riches and strength lift up the heart, the mind, but the fear of the Lord YAHAWASHI is above them both. There is no want which is lack in the fear of the Lord YAHAWASHI. It needeth not to seek help.
I need time to consider this. Of course you do. And when you've reached a decision, you can contact me at my residence downside. Cephodias nodded in glum introspection, and Damask spun on his heel and disappeared into the crowd.
That's it. That's it. All right, that was it of the audio. Lord, when you enjoyed it. This is verse 27, and I'll end it here. The fear of the Lord YAHAWAH is a fruitful garden. Didn't he say, if you want to make contact with me, seek me at my residence? We're seeking out YAHAWASHI to help us in these times. We're seeking out one another, those that know YAHAWASHI, for counsel and how to move forward. It says, the fear of the Lord YAHAWASHI is a fruitful garden, and covereth him above all glory. And with that, giving all praises, glory, and honor unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA. But when we do function, double honors unto my apostles, my elders, and my teachers at Great Millstone that are ruling well and continue to do so. Salutations, peace, and blessings unto the hopeful elect, that house of David. To you brothers out there fighting this good fight of faith, keep it up. To you sisters doing that which is becoming of women, Shalawam. And those that are addicted unto this ministry, I say, Shalawam. One more scripture and I'll close out. Do ye look on things after the outward appearance? If any man trust to himself that he is Mashiach's, let him of himself think this again, that as he is Mashiach's, even so are we Mashiach's. NLT, look at the obvious facts. Those who say they belong to Mashiach must recognize that we belong to Mashiach as much as they do. And that's what's going to bring us together. YAHAWASHI, being gathered unto him in these last and troubling days. So Lord's willing, this has been edifying. This has been part 3 to molded for the times to come. We are being ever molded and conformed to the image of the Heavenly Father's Son, even YAHAWASHI Mashiach, to prepare us for these times ahead, putting on the whole armor of Yahweh and lifting up above all the shield of faith to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. So with that, say Shalawam, salutations, peace, and blessings unto the hopeful elect, double honors unto my apostles, and all praises, glory, and honor be unto, always and forever, Yahweh BAHASHAM. And with that, I say Shalawam, on to the next one. Shalom.